Hello Internet, and welcome to my live reaction for One Piece chapter 1052. When we last left our heroes, Momonosuke made his grand appearance to the people of Wano. We got a lot of Tama backstory, learning about how her parents died in one of the borderline slavery factories that Orochi kept, and how she sort of was this poor little orphan girl until Tenguyama kind of took her in, and told her that, just wait a few years and all of this will be resolved. And it was, which is real good. It felt real good for Tama here. There was a lot of coming full circle with Wano, how we started with Tama's hunger and we're ending sort of with Tama's hunger being rectified. We also learned some important details about her devil fruit, that it only keeps animals enraptured with her for a month, and then they're either freed or they sort of become willing Tama acolytes. Meanwhile, Yamato announces his intention to join the crew, which the Straw Hats lightly push back against because it's up to Luffy to make that decision, they say. And then Momo gives his big speech to the crowd. Wano is free. It's a new day. There is hope for the future. And it just feels real good. I've been saying this for the past few chapters now. It just feels real good for Wano to be free. Anyway, let's dive right on in chapter 1052, A New Morning. And our picture here, I think, reveals that Caesar Clown never left Whole Cake. German 66's On the Motionless Excursion, Volume 14, The Scientist Who Failed to Escape. And we see Caesar hiding behind a wall, and Reiju notices him. So yeah, I guess Caesar Clown is still around? I genuinely don't know. Caesar left at Whole Cake, and I thought he had escaped, but I guess not. So I genuinely don't know what his reintroduction is going to mean going forward. But I don't know. We open on Sacred Marijoa, as the five elders, I guess, are discussing what's happened at Wano. So Nika has finally descended upon the world. And two of the four emperors defeated in the same battle. This is not a matter we can cover up. The information will be all over the globe soon enough. And the timing couldn't be worse, which I'm assuming is referring to whatever the hell happened at Reverie. We still, it's been over 100 chapters since we first found out that something big happened at Reverie, and we still have no clue what that was. So who knows? Anyway, and the timing couldn't be worse. So, how do we respond? But then we cut to the seas near Wano, as the government, as the marine ships are still sort of reacting to what's happened there. You said that Zoe is gone? And whoever's reporting tells them, yes, sir. It just slipped away into the mist. So what was it doing? And then, I guess the guy on the other side of the line, who I don't know who that is, responds, then they are not opening up the country. Wano will remain an impregnable fortress, it seems. This might be one of the elders who are still talking. Is this Glasses guy one of the elders? He might be this one member of the elders in white here. So they're reacting to Nika and to Zunisha leaving. They must have changed tactics in response to the situation. Someone over there is very shrewd. And then the sort of mustachioed guy, or the drooping mustachioed guy. Now there is no means of sending in a major force to occupy the nation. But you will at least bring back Nico Robin, yes? And that gets a bit of a shock on the other side. As the last CP0 member just responds, without fail. And you see he has some henchmen there, as they're just repeating CP0. Oh no, I think this is at first I thought that was like a chant, rah rah go CP0 or something. But I think this is the elders on the other side. They can't hear what the masked man is saying. CP0, CP0. And one of the guys comes over to look at the Den Den Mushi. The signal's being jammed. Hang on, you guys. And then I'm a little unclear what's going on here. So we see a ship approaching that asks, Who are you? And on the other side, this is probably one of the elders. Just wait where you are. I'll be right there. Okay, I still don't know what's going on there. I don't know exactly what's happening with them. But there is something going on. But then we cut back to Wano. The land of Wano, freed at last from 20 years of tyranny, reveled in the victory of the Kozuki clan. Before that, we cut to within Onigashima Castle, where we see Drake is, like, not able to, like... He's alive, he's, like, passed out on the ground. Hawkins is alive, though, who's just sort of... You know, he's not doing great. I think his arms got cut off by Killer, as I recall. But Hawkins has made it to Drake and asked him, Drake, you're a Navy man? And Drake sort of refuses to answer. I'm not answering that. That's what you came here to ask. And Hawkins can't even really answer, but just slumps against one of, like, the pillars holding up the ceiling. And Drake looks at him. You look like a total wreck. I thought your divination said you'd be fine, as long as you didn't betray Kaido. But Hawkins tells him, I sank to working for Kaido because I sensed death in the presence of that monster. But Kid and Killer faced death bravely, and continued their resistance. Even if I had foreseen their victory, how could I possibly turn back and suck up to Kid again? Hawkins is sort of like an interesting character. I kind of wish we spent even more time sort of exploring, because he is in this, like, you know, he's in a position that can be taken very, very tragically, and that, like, he knows he backed the wrong horse from the beginning. You know, he never liked Kaido. It wasn't like Apu, a secret Kaido henchman, but, like, he didn't see another way. You know, when Kaido is standing in front of you, what else do you do beyond kowtow? Well, you could continue to fight him, as Kid and Killer did. And it's that sort of... like, there is kind of a tragedy to him. Anyway, we see Drake, who flashes back to a conversation he had with Hawkins, I guess right before the raid, maybe? As Drake tells him, if you're going to betray them, now's the time. What does that represent? And then Hawkins then says, the chances of a certain man surviving until tomorrow. 1%? Sucks to be him. And Drake sort of looks at him, so that certain man you were talking about was... And Hawkins responds, me. And he slumps over. Okay. So... I guess that means Hawkins is dead? And then we cut to a week later. 7th day since the conclusion, Flower Capital. We see, you know, we look over the Flower Capital, we hear people yelling, don't take the festival decorations down. Lord Momono, the Shogun, has decreed that we'll have another festival. And we see this, like, education. I'm trying to remember if we, like, have seen... Because the concept we're seeing here is, like, a false history being taught in school, right? We see this man's come in to be a teacher, and the kids ask, Miss Sarahebi go away? How come? And the man tells them, I'm sorry, kids, but you need a re-education about the history behind our heroes. But the kids, who have kind of bought into the Orochi propaganda, because, you know, they're children, aww. But the man silences them and tells them all, we start with the most astonishing lad. This lesson will cover the story of Kozuki Oden. And then we see just, like, townspeople talking in the streets. I can hardly believe it. Komurasaki, the most beautiful woman in all of Wano, was Lord Oden's daughter all along? It was Kawamatsu the Kappa who rescued her from the burning castle. What a beautiful tale of loyalty. One samurai disguised himself as a Yakuza named Kyoshiro, and secretly protected her from harm. He was one of the Akazaya 9, Sir Denjiro. And then we cut to Paradise Farm, which I know we've seen at some point before. Is that where Kinemon's wife was, right? Suru, I think was her name. It was originally built by Oden, and then became the property of Orochi, as the wiki is telling me. Okay. But still, it's sort of a symbol of the Kozuki coming back to power, the farm that Oden built. Do you know about the man who beat Kaido? I heard. He's a warrior by the name of Joyboy, right? That's interesting. Because, like, who all would know that there's a connection between Luffy and Joyboy, right? It's Zanisha, it's Momo, maybe King. And that's kind of it, right? No one else really, like, Kaido would know, But like Kaido's not telling people things right now. I don't know who else would do that. That's an interesting little line. Anyway, the townspeople go on, but apparently he's already left the country. Oh, I wish I could have seen him. A hero rivaled only by the god of the blade. And then we come to the Eternal Graves in Ringo. I think this is where Zoro had his fight with Killer, I think? Right? It's been so long since early Wano, and none of these places have like come up since Onigashima started. But I think this is where Zoro, I think, met Hiyori, as well as the Fox Spirit thing, whose exact details I can never remember. And I think fought Killer, as I recall. But I might be wrong. Anyway, build a temple. I think this is Kawamatsu and someone else talking at the top of this like steps, up on a hill with a view of the flower capital, just like the shrine to Ryuma, god of the blade. It's Kinemon Kawamatsu. Only this one will honor Lord Odin, and surrounding him, all the daimyo who fought for the country, starting with Lord Yasui, plus Ashura and Izo. Okay, I've been wondering what happened to Ashura. And I guess that means Izo also died. Okay. So, like, One Piece famously does not kill a lot of characters off. If I recall correctly, I think the first, like, named character death was Ace. I might be off slightly there, but, like, it was Ace and or Whitebeard, whoever died first. My Marineford memories are very vague. And then, like, Monet, Vergo, and Pedro might be it. In terms of, like, not flashbacks. In terms of present stuff. But now we have Ashura being dead, Izo being dead. Did we just learn something? Oh, Hawkins being dead. So, like, I don't know. It's a sign that this war is just so much bigger. The conflicts here, you know, in case you have somehow not heard the news, I'm not sure if there's going to be a chapter on the 26th, or if that's the start of the pre-final saga hiatus. Because we're going to have a month off as Oda gets ready for the end game of One Piece. And the stakes are, like, we're seeing that, like, the consequences of these actions are much bigger. You know, there's a lot more death. Starting with Ashura and Izo, and Hawkins, who, you know, was hardly a hero or anything. And maybe even Kaido and Big Mom. They might be dead. I'm not sure. Anyway, the little fox guy, whose name I still cannot remember, yips at Kawamatsu. And Kawamatsu tells him, "Kappa, I suppose we'll go in here someday too, Onimaru," which is the fox's name. Little scamp, glad you're alive. And then Kinemon looks up at Marco, who flies down. "Does that work for you, Sir Marco?" "Of course. Best to be buried in one's native soil." And here I am, still kicking for some reason. Which, like, that is I don't think a lot about the Whitebeards. Like, I don't really care about the Whitebeards. But, like, Marco does seem to keep surviving all of his comrades' death. Ace and Whitebeard, and now Izo, and anyone else who died in Marineford, because, again, Marineford's an arc I don't remember much of. I remember not caring for it, which I know is a controversial take. But anyway, it is a lot for Marco, though. Kawamatsu tells him, "We have our own qualms, too." But Kinemon goes on, "It is difficult to bear the thought of something happening to the heroes of the battle, while the rest of us live. Let us pray for their recovery." I think because Luffy and Zoro are still out. You know, Luffy he was the one who stopped Kaido, and maybe he's still unconscious a week later. We cut to Yamato, who's on top of the temple, at the center of Onigashima. "I'm so hungry. I mean, not hungry. I think he's, like, trying to put on this brave face, this, like, as long as Luffy is suffering, I'm not. But someone calls for him down below. "Brother! Big brother!" "Yamato! Luffy Taro and Zorojiro, oh good, have awakened!" This is Hiyori, okay, who has also, like, kicked Momo here or something. I'm not quite sure, like, in, like, excitement or something. Wow, she's still not over her tomboyish side. Doesn't hurt, though. Okay. I think I'm reading what's going on there right. But yeah, they're awake, and they're being themselves. You know how they are. Luffy wakes right up, "Meat!" And Zoro, "Booze!" And they is this the official start of the post-Wano party? Is that what we're having here? Because Momo and Yamato both run to greet them. Luffy, Zoro, you're awake! Luffy, you're up! And Luffy is more meat, right away! We see like Nekomamushi laughing in the background. What a great day! More! And we see like everyone's here, all the straw hats. I'm not gonna like stop everything to make sure everyone's here. I don't see Jinbei, but like the mink doctors are here. We see Nami and Toko are playing together. Tama's sitting with Sanji. It does feel like the start of a big old party. I do like though, we can see that like, is Tristan the male doctor or the female doctor? I can't never keep them straight. But he's still got like the IV drip into Luffy as Luffy's like chowing down. But Momo tells them, Luffy, Zoro, don't eat too much. Now that you're up, the entire country's going to hold a feast. And Luffy, and I think this is still Momo's line. Let's do it today. And both of them look at him because they've never seen Momo's human adult form, so they don't actually know who it is. As Momo has to tell them, it's me, Momonosuke! And with that, they go like right back to their eating. What? Oh, so you're an adult now. And Zoro looks at him, you look pretty buff, kid. Is that Odin's blood? Let's see how well you take a punch. And someone calls out, don't! Oh, and he's trying to do the fucking boob gag that Momo did when he was still a baby. The bit where like he'd like get to like cuddle up to Nami and be like, rubbing it into Sanji and Brooke. There were a lot of memes about, oh, poor Momo can't do this anymore over the past few weeks. But she comes up to Nami, and tries to do the same thing. No, stop, they're picking on me. Save me, oh Nami. And Nami does what she would do if a nearly 30-year-old man ran up to her and groped her and decks him. Knock it off. But I'm only 8. Doesn't hurt though. I forget, is saying that things don't hurt when they do like an early Momo quirk? Like it fits a sort of nobility vibes, but I don't quite remember it. And Nami like remembers that he's still technically a child. Oh, that's right. But Luffy and Zoro seem convinced about Momo's strength here. Yeah, he's tougher now. And Sanji and Brooke are like rubbing it in to Momo. Gah! Welcome to the adult world, Momo. Your special privileges are a thing of the past. But like Yamato's A-okay with all this. He's a kid on the inside, and Odin on the outside. And he puts this like tray on Momo's head to like mimic Odin's hairstyle. Stop putting a tray on my head every time you see me. But Yamato like taps his shoulder. You've got a very sturdy body. Be grateful to your parents. You'll be the greatest samurai in the nation one day, I'm sure. And Momo just tells him, well, I'll try. And then Nami turns to Yamato. Yamato, let's take that bath before the festival. Your prayer is over, right? And Luffy looks over, kind of confused. Prayer? But Jinbei, who is there, actually, I missed that earlier, but he's there. In Wano, when you pray to the gods for something, it's customary to deprive yourself until it comes true. And Yamato tells him, I didn't have any food or bath until you two are better again. I will say, though, last chapter I discussed my concern about how the series would treat Yamato's gender in the long term going forward. And I'm hoping that, like, Yamato and Nami sharing a bath is not like, we're going to treat Yamato like a girl now, because I made my thoughts on that very clear. Either way, Luffy's A-okay. Wow, really? Thanks to you, I'm feeling great now, Yamao. Or not, I mean, he is A-okay, but that's not the point here. And Jinbei comments, what a nice person. And then Zoro just sort of looks at himself, we're not that filthy, though. And Hiyori, who still has some sort of feelings for Zoro, that's because I took it upon myself to cleanse you. Is that exciting for you? Hee hee. And Sanji's like livid. Mosshead, we need to have a talk. And Zoro does not seem to know what that conversation is going to be about, because he's flashing back to what Sanji said before he fought Queen. Not knowing, I think, that Sanji has sort of resolved all that inner turmoil in what I do think, in the end, is the arc's best fight. Sanji versus Queen is top tier, we stand. After the finisher, if I'm not in my right mind, I want you to kill me. And Zoro just sort of turns to him, oh yeah, that's right. I've come back from the depths of hell to kill you. And he's like ready to go. And Sanji's like, no, I'm good. We already resolved that. Yeah, that arc's over, Zoro. We finished all that. Oh, and Yamato, thank you, Oda, for this. I did see something from people who like read the scans about like people who keep on misgendering Yamato are going to be pissed after this chapter, and maybe this is part of it because Yamato's response to Nami's bathing offer is, "Sorry, Nami, there's no mixed bathing in the castle," which like we win, we stand, what a king. But then I think this is Kiku who comes up to Nami. Do you mind if this one joins you? Which, like, is just good, you know? Like this panel, like, for a moment I thought that might have been Hiyori, but, like, that definitely is Kiku. Which really does sort of... The fact that it's Kiku in particular who joins Nami emphasizes, it's not like a deep, you know, overriding trans theme to Wano. That's definitely not there for, like, as, like, a main theme of the arc. But the way that, like, Wano has, in various ways... work to sort of rectify the more, let's say, transphobic elements in the past. I'm talking, of course, about Sanji's time skip story, which was very bad and not good at all. And this, you know, Wano is like I said last time, if it weren't for Kiku, I'd be very nervous about how Oda was going to handle Yamato. But pairing Yamato and Kiku together right here does emphasize how Oda has grown as an author there. We stand, we support. And so we cut to rock bath inside the castle. It's a fancy bath. And we're in the men's bath with Yamato, who is also there. So, of course, you know, Sanji and Brook and Momo are like over the moon because Yamato's just sort of in there with them. It feels great. And Luffy just cheers, and there's a feast when we're done. This is the best. And Brook and Sanji are just, am I dreaming? In response, of course, to a naked Yamato. Yamato, what are you? And then in the women's bath, we see Kiku is also there with the girls. And Nami just comments, I can hear them yelling from here. And we see Tama's doing a baby Momo there, looking at Nami's boobs. I hope I grow up to be this bewitching. Kiku then tells them all, in the past, we would all bathe together with Lord Odin, though this one felt ashamed being with the men. So, okay, that's an interesting thing, that in the past, Kiku... I forget exactly how, in, like, the Odin flashback, Kiku's gender was treated. If it was, like, if her being a woman was, like, a character quirk they didn't quite fully comprehend, rather than, like, just a fact of her being as it is in the present. I don't know. I'll have to go back and read that sometime. But Hiyori comments, "You're just as I remember you, O Kiku. Only I'm older than you now." And Toko just comments, "This is nice." And then we cut to outside as the whole, you know, party's getting ready. The feast is going to be today. It's time once again to celebrate the return of the Kozuki clan. Tell each of the provinces. And then we come to Tokage Port and Udon, where the Sunny is, and all the other ships, I suppose. As Frankie and Usopp, I guess, have been there this whole time, working on the ship. Phew, back in shape at last. Yeah, they should be good to sail. What happened to the Sunny last we saw her? Because I remember they had like the naval battle right before Onigashima got started. Was it like really wrecked after that? It's been a while. It's been a long time since we've really seen the Sunny. And then we see the Frankie, and the General Frankie in like tip-top shape. And General Frankie's back to normal too. And we see Beppo and Killer and someone else. And like Beppo, they're all like over the moon. And Beppo's like, that thing is so cool. And Frankie is like, heh and of like pride. But Kid tells his crew, don't get all buddy-buddy with them. Stay on your guard until we're able to leave. Somehow, somewhere, the intel will leak, and the papers will hear about it. They'll be after us as a replacement for the four emperors. Which, that's an interesting question, I do want to say. Is like, what does it mean to become one of the four emperors, you know? Like the Shichibukai were an organization. You got invited by the government to join the Shichibukai. Whereas the Yonko, like, there's no organization there. It's just sort of assigned. I'm not sure what Kid leaving will do to stop him from being, like, given a Yonko title. But Law tells his crew, he's right. They can't see us from outside of the closed nation. But we can't see what the enemy's doing either. What if we find... And then Beppo comments, what if we find out that all their bounties are astronomical numbers like we've never seen before? And then Apu and, like, one of the numbers comes in. Apu and a number? Why is Apu not in jail, by the way? Like, you know, Hawkins is A, dead, and B was sort of, like, coerced to working with Kaido. Apu was a Kaido henchman from the beginning. And Apu tells them all, that's right. Who can say how this information leaked out, but... And Kid just yells, stop acting like it wasn't you, you annoying bum. I'm sure you're curious about the new bounty numbers. And he seems to have them. This is my first time as a One Piece reviewer getting new bounty numbers. I'm so excited. I am so excited. Want to see them? It's all there. And he, like, throws, I think that's not the bounty, that's not the wanted posters, it's the newspaper. All of your bounties. And the names they're calling the new emperors of the sea. Okay. That's exciting. That is exciting. And we see someone, like, flying through Wano, I think? I asked where you are right now. I already told you, Sakazuki. I'm in the air. In the air where? Oh, I can see Wano up ahead. Don't you dare make things worse. Got that, Ryokugyu? Oh, the last of the new admirals who I keep forgetting about. I know. Jeez. To be continued. Okay, so we're not going to get bounties today. We're going to get that next week, I hope. I hope we'll get that before the hiatus at the very least. I don't want that, like, I know this is Eiichiro Oda, and he can tease shit for 20 years if he wants to, but I don't want this to be teased for too damn long, you know? But anyway, this is just, you know, it's my continuing a thing for all of these, like, post-Onigashima chapters. There's just a sense of fun. You know, this is kind of the first chapter, like, the last two were all, fuck yeah, we did it, let's party. This is the first time that, like, first time since the battle ended that, like, we sat back down and we're like, just because Kaido and Big Mom have fallen, things are still going on. There are still threats. You know, we can party for now, great, this is One Piece, we'll always have a party at the end of an arc. But, like, we also need to slow down, we need to look at where we are, we need to see what's going on, and, like, there are still threats on the horizon. There are new bounties, there are new emperors, according to Apu. There are threats both near and far. Let's talk about the threats first, because Ryokugyu's here. The last of the admirals. Wait, no, hold on. How many are there 4 now? Because Kizaru is still an admiral, right? I'm going to go look up who the admirals are at this point, because I don't remember what happened to Kizaru. He might have been, like, promoted or something. Oh, no. Oh, it was Sakazuki who was promoted. Right. So there are still 3 admirals. It's just not Sakazuki anymore because he's, like, High Commander or Fleet Admiral is the title. Right. So, yeah. The last of the new admirals who was first teased. How long ago was he first teased? Like, late Dressrosa? Was it late Dressrosa? No, he was first showed up, according to the wiki, during Reverie. But anyway, we're having him for real now. After I think he was mentioned during Dressrosa was the first time. But still, that is concerning because it really does feel like Wano's about to end, and maybe this will be like Kuzan in Long Ring Longland, where it just shows up like I'm gonna be a big threat soon. See you around. Because, like, you know, I've been assuming technically all we know is that the hiatus is so that Oda can prepare for the final arc, which doesn't technically mean the final arc starts as soon as the hiatus is over. Like, I suppose it's possible that, like, he's just getting all of his ducks in a row to wrap up Wano and then jump into the final arc. I suppose that's a possibility, though we don't really know yet. But anyway, the emperors are aware, or not the emperors, the elders are aware of what's happened, broadly speaking. You know, Law and Kid have this bit at the end about, like, the outside world doesn't know what happened here. And, like, they blame it on Apu when the world does find out. But also, like, I don't think Kid or Law knew that CP0 was here at all. So, like, that's how the world found out. They would have found out without Apu. Though, I have no doubt that Apu did tell them. But yeah, so the world knows. We find out that Ashura and Izo passed away, which is heavy, I do admit. Yeah, and I don't know, like I've said, I'm not a big fan of the Whitebeards, but there's something about Marco's little still kicking for some reason line that really does hit. He doesn't, like, by all intents and purposes, he should have died many times over now. And somehow, he's still the one alive after all of this. And that does kind of weigh on him. I'm wondering if that's setting up a death flag for him, like he will die at whatever this big final war is. I don't know. But you know, Wano is changing. The truth is being out. And Luffy and Zoro are awake. And like things are really just going well for everyone. And you know, we get all that good treatment of your trans characters, Oda. I'm gonna leave it at that. It's good. But like most of this chapter is just continuing the epilogue of Wano, both in the somber, serious, and funny moments. And I'm here for it. There's a lot of good stuff here. And a lot more on the way. I don't know what Ryokugyu is up to. I'm curious who the Emperors are going to be, what the bounties are going to end up being. But yeah, this chapter is silent. It does a really great job of being both epilogue and setup, right? Kind of epilogue and prologue, or epilogue and prelude even. The way that like One Piece endings are always great at, but it's been so long since I've gotten to read one that like it's kind of hard to remember all the way back pre-Wano. So yeah, I'm really excited. What's coming next? An Admiral's here, which never ends well. Bounties are out. People are partying. Emperors are going to be announced. And we do see, though, that, like... I didn't quite bring this up because I don't like bringing up things that I got spoiled for me in advance. But there is the question of, like, where is Robin? Because Robin doesn't show up at the party, at the feast, in the bath, nowhere. And we know what the elders tell CP0 guy is you will at least bring back Nico Robin, yes? So we don't know what's going on there. Maybe it's nothing. Maybe she's just like wandering around somewhere. Who knows? But we'll see. So lots of good feelings and also lots of interesting things on the horizon. I can't wait to see where all this ends up. So with that said, I'm going to leave this video off here. Hope you'll enjoy the chapter and the video itself. If you did, feel free to drop me a like or subscribe or, you know, do whatever makes you happy, you know? And as always, your life is your own, okay? Bye!